Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, you're welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. I love you guys. I don't take you guys for granted. If you're just tuning in to my channel today, you guys are welcome. Thank you for being part of my family. That is if you have already subscribed. If you have not, guys, what are you waiting for? Please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification button so that you'll be notified each time I post a video. Okay, happy new year. Thank God for bringing us to another new year. Pray that this year shall be a beautiful and a wonderful year. We shall do exploits even in this year 2022 by the grace of God. Amen. Now in this video, we'll be doing an introduction of the video, and also I'll be telling you a bit about myself, starting with myself, my younger self, my teenage life, my childhood life, and stuff like that. That's what I'm going to be doing today. This video might be super long. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but you guys should stay and bear with me, okay? It's going to be very impactful, and it's going to be like you guys will be able to learn one or two things from my childhood days, okay? All right, so if it's something that you're interested in watching, then sit back, relax, and keep on watching, okay? All right, so before I go into the video, I remember I told you in my previous video on the lessons I learned in my 1 year of marriage, where I told you guys that this video is not just for teenagers, it's not for just for childhood memories and all that. No, the reason, one of the things I don't like, this was like a vision that came to my mind, my spirit, and I felt like a stronghold to film this video, like to share my own experience, to do this series that and this title, the particular title that actually came to mind to my spirit was Younger Me or Young Me. The title was Young Me. So it's not just teenage me. No, I decided to put that teenage me in brackets, okay? So but the main title is Young Me. Now this video is not just for teenagers or young people or young adults. No, it's also for adults or mothers, fathers, grandparents, and all that. This will also help you to remember your childhood days and all that, if it's even something that is relatable even to you, and you'll be able to also learn and relearn from this my experiences I'm going to be sharing with you guys, my childhood experiences and all that I'll be sharing in this video. You'll be able to learn one or two things from there and apply it, or even change some things that needs to be changed even in your parenting life as a father or a mother to a teenager or a young adult or a young child. So yeah, you get to learn one or two things from everything I'm going to be discussing on this series. Okay, I believe that you'll be able to learn one or two things from this channel. Okay, thank you, because definitely I cannot just be rambling and talking and all that. You'll not learn anything now. You guys have to learn something. So yeah, it's going to be very impactful. So stay tuned and watch to the end. Okay, all right, thank you so much. So without further ado, let's just dive dive right into the video. Okay, now who am I? My name is Naomi Hosea, but was known as Naomi Jonathan as a young child. Growing up, I was the only daughter of my parents. And up till now, I'm still the only daughter of my parents. Okay? The only daughter. And I'm the first child, or I would say, yeah, the first child to my mom, because I have an elder brother, a step brother. He's my brother. Okay? So yeah, I'm the only daughter of my family. Now, most times, only daughters are usually overprotected. I don't know if you know that, but if you don't, just look around you. Look around you and just look around and see if you can find any child that is the only son or only daughter. You find out that those parents will be very, very, very protective of that child. I don't know, it can be intentional or intentional. I don't know about that, right? But they get to be very protective of their child, mostly if you're the only child or the only daughter or only son. Okay, you see that. Now, as the only daughter growing up in the midst of four boys, you can imagine, right? Now, I was the first child of my mom when I was growing up. When I was in nursery school, I remember I usually used to take my brothers to school because they were very young. They were young. They were my junior ones, so I have to take them, my siblings, to school. And then when we get back, whenever my dad, whenever he comes back from work, he's a very he's a disciplinarian father, right? And he is the type of person that he tries to find time to be with his family, no matter what. Even if he's not around, he tries to communicate, to call, to find out how we are doing and all that stuff. Okay. So I could remember that each time my dad comes back, he always sits me down and tutor me and check my books to find out what I learned in school and all that. And right now, thinking about it, I feel like the reason why he did all that was for me to, even if he doesn't have time to do that with my younger ones, I can be able to do that because he had already impacted that in me, and also to like pass it across to my other younger ones. Okay, I can remember this particular alphabetical letters that he used to teach me: ba, baby, bobu. And it's like in a Hausa form, but I kind of learned a lot of things from that. Each time, even when I'm trying to spell something when I was young, each time I wanted to spell something, I remember that, and then I just try to pronounce it. That's exactly how I do get my pronunciation. I mean, my spelling right, based on what I was taught by my dad. Now you can see that there is a very significant impact that my dad had on me. My mom, on the other hand, also did her own best. Each time that she's around, she also wants me to be a partaker in the kitchen, doing some domestic chores and all that. Not that my younger ones were not doing that, but they always used to feel like boys are not they are not handy, like doing domestic chores. But my mom, on the other hand, do her best once in a while, especially when they had grown up to a stage that they can handle some domestic chores. She let them sweep, even though we had a domestic help to help sweep, clean. And the only thing that it was when they started growing up to a certain age, like let's say their teenage age, that they started cooking and putting something on fire, cooking noodles. I remember even my, I think, 12-year-old brother, he goes to the kitchen and cooks some meals. Yeah, he does that. Even our last born, he's 7, 8 years old. He cooked noodles by himself. So all those things, and he's a boy. All those things are things that my mom tried to impact on my younger ones as well. Okay. Now, one thing I also want to mention is that as an only child, growing up in the midst of boys, I usually used to feel lonely. Like I felt like I didn't have somebody that I could talk to. Now, as a young child, I can't remember the age particularly, but I was very young, very young. I think about as 6, 7, 8 years. I was very, very attached to my dad. Wherever you see my dad, you'll see me. That's exactly how he used to be, like very close. And I was very questionative. Like I asked questions, a lot of questions, a lot. Like each time I don't understand something, I ask questions. But it got to a certain age. I can remember, like it got to a certain age. I think my teenage age, getting to my teenage age, going to junior secondary school, I discovered that I was now becoming, like, I don't know if I'll call that, afraid of my dad. Most especially, I was afraid of my dad. I could not communicate or even like sit and talk with him if I have any issues. I could not do all those stuff. Like I was so scared of my parents, most especially my dad. I was scared of my dad. But looking back right now, right, I'll be like, what exactly was making me scared, because at the younger age I was very attached to my dad, but why is it that there was now a shift? It got to a stage that even I and my younger ones, whenever my dad comes back from work, right, and we maybe let's assume we are watching a not assume we are watching a movie, right, and then we just hear the horn of my dad's car, we know that he's the one. We just switch it back to news and then walk out, because we don't like to watch news, and he wants us to actually listen to news because it's something that is educative. We learn one or two things from there, right? But as children now, we also want to watch cartoons, we want to watch movies and all that, and that's not what he's cut out for. So yeah. So that's one of the things that usually used to make us to run away from our dad, because he always wants us to sit down and listen to news and all that. So another thing that I also remember as a child growing up was that my dad and my mom always pray with us every day. They don't There is no day, there is no time or no day that will, morning and night, he they make sure that we pray, we are in tune with God, we are working hand with God, we do our best. That's what my dad and my mom try to do. I remember this fateful day that they were trying to inculcate that habit in me, that whenever you're eating, you have before you eat, you have to pray. So this particular day, as a child, they just give you food, like you're just hungry and just want to just eat the food, and then yeah. So and my dad said pray, and I don't know what actually happened, but I just refused to pray. I was so hungry, but my dad said pray before you eat, and I refused to pray, and that was how I got angry and then left the food. That I will not eat the food. Like, I will not eat the food even because I don't like. Why is it even necessary for me to pray? And now, as a child, right, I had to just go and humble myself, beg, because I was so hungry, and that's how I had to start praying. Like, each time I had to eat, I have to start praying before I eat my food. And yeah, up till now it's been part of us. And one thing they also taught us that whenever we finish eating, we have to like appreciate our parents, appreciate even our younger ones for helping out or for cooking and stuff like that. So that's one thing we also grew up with. So each time we finish eating, we appreciate our mom by saying thank you mommy, thank you daddy, thank you sister, thank you brother, and that. So yeah, that's one thing I learned while we were children growing up as a child. Now, my childhood days, like I said in my, like I said earlier on, as a child, well, while I was growing up, I was so lonely. So I usually have not like lonely, right? Like, but I felt like I was just alone. So the person that used to fill in that space sometimes was my cousin sister. So yeah, I have a lot of cousin sister, but this particular cousin sister, I was very close to her. We used to chat, even though she was younger, but I kind of used to feel in that space of not having a sister, right? So we used to talk, we chat and gist, and sometimes she goes to her mom's place because she's not living with us, right? So it's only when she comes visiting that we used to do that and all that. So, and one thing that my parents, mostly my parents tried to also do was that each time is a festive period, they do take us out to be able to relate with other people and see some fun things and learn some new things and experience some new things. So that's one of the things that they were very intentional in doing. And up till now, whenever I remember those memories, like it brings back a lot of memories that I don't know, like it's kind of unites the family together. You guys even relax, chat, gist. But one thing I remember also is that whenever even we also go out, right? The play that my brothers are playing, I cannot involve myself in playing those games like football and all that. Oh, before I even continue, did I even mention that I tried to play football while I was in primary school, but it got to a stage that there was a day. were playing football, and I heard the horn of my dad. He was coming back from work. I don't know, I just got distracted, and that was how the ball hit me on my eye. And from that day on up till now, I cannot remember when last I carried ball to play. So because of that singular thing, it made me to like go, like run away from football. Like I don't like football. To play football, nah. Sometimes I try to enjoy watching football because of my brothers and my dad, being the only daughter. Okay, yeah. So I got to learn even watching war movies and all that. So yeah, those are the kind of impacts that that they impacted in me as well. So also, like as a child, going further, like I said earlier on, as a child I was lonely, so I was alone most of the time. So I usually had this book that I usually write whatever I feel in my heart, whatever my how my day goes. If I'm feeling sad, if there's something troubling me, I usually used to write it down. So I was a writer. Like I love to write. I think I still have some of the books. I love to write whatever my thoughts be. Like I don't know, like I just get to write. Like that's one of the things that I felt really relaxed whenever I did that. I felt like I was communicating with someone. And each time I write on my journal, like I just feel relieved and all that. Okay. So that's one of the things I did as a child. Now, also, I told you that at a point I was scared of relating or even discussing with my parents or sharing anything with my parents if I was going through any difficulty in school, any challenge at all. I usually used to shy away from talking to my parents, most especially my dad. But one thing that I did was I discovered later on was that I decided to use another medium because I felt like each time that I was trying to talk to my parents, there is always this gap that they don't get to understand whatever I'm saying. It's as if as I'm saying A, they are hearing C. As I'm saying A, they are hearing C. Or I don't, they don't. There is this disconnection in communicating with parents. I don't know how that is, but one thing I got to learn was for me to always write a letter. So that's one thing that I discovered, for me to always write a letter and then put it across to my dad. And whenever my dad is relaxed, he then goes through it, and then he will now sometimes sit me down and tell me what is it, or he writes back and tell, like, it was really fun. Like thinking back right now, as I'm telling you guys this story, thinking back right now, I'm now thinking that it was actually fun, but there was this disconnection of you sitting with your dad and talking to your dad and rappelling. Yeah, and this is one of the things that I got to see in one of our family relations, that I found out that the children and their parents, they were very close, they were relating so well, and you will not even get to know that this one father and son or father and children, and then they relate like this. You will not even get to know that. You think that one neighbor come they gist like that. You will not know that it's your dad or your mom, the way they talk, like cheese and all that. Yeah, so that's one of the things that I try to now inculcate even in my family as a young child. So yeah, so that's some of the things that that's how my childhood life was basically like. Okay, is there anything else that I have left out? You can see that basically, as being an only child, there are some okay, yeah, I remember some things. So there are some times that as an only child, your parents will be very overprotective of you. Okay, so there are some times that you want to go out, your dad or your mom will say no, you're not going, even without them saying no, just by their look and expression, you just get the memo. You're not going anywhere. So but one thing I got to notice was that each time my younger brothers want to go out, they don't even need to even take any permission, and they are out, and nobody will even question them or things like that. So that's one thing that it got me so like upset I was not agree. I was not feeling like, why is it that my parents were not allowing my younger ones to do what they want to do, even going down to my dressing. Like if I dressed, I like put on a dress or put on a trouser or something, maybe I just dress up, they will just like psych me, like check my dressing, and if I'm not good to go, you have to stay back or you go and redress and then come. That's how overprotective my parents were. Okay, so and I was very also attached to my mom. I was more closer to my mom than my dad growing up as a teenager. So I could remember the first time when we were in secondary school, junior secondary school. I think my just 2 or just 3, when some youth coppers came and shared some parts with us, and they enlightened us about period. By then, I've not even started seeing my periods. So I came home and then told my mom about it, and she was like, "Have you started seeing your period?" I said, "No, I haven't." And she was like, "Oh, whenever you start, just tell me." And she just gave me a brief enlightenment about and agreeing and concurring to the things that were taught in school by the coppers. So one thing she was saying, that when you start seeing your period, you don't need to go close to boys. You have to stay away from boys. Don't allow them to touch you and all that. So, so I was very conscious of those words. Like really stuck. I'm telling you, it really stuck. So yeah, as a child, as a young child, being the only daughter, I was an indoor person. Like I don't go out, I don't have friends. I think the only friend I had, she's late right now, the only friend, very close best friend I had, she was someone that was very close to our house, so we usually used to do things together. It got to a point that even if we want to take our bath, we go and take our bath together and all that, right? So yeah, so those are the things, those were how my childhood days were like. And also I could remember also that as a child, even when we have to go to programs in church and it is in the night, and my brother cannot come along with me, then I cannot go alone. It got to that point, like really, and it was so annoying to me. Like I felt like, why would you do that? I'm going to church, I'm not going anywhere, because they felt like maybe I want to use style to go and sneak out to see a friend and all that. You know how parenting used to be, but I don't blame them anyway. Looking back, I don't blame them. They were just trying to protect me, and yeah. So, and I also remember this fateful day that I really cannot forget. Is, even though I can't forget, but I've forgiven my dad, but I can't really forget it. Was a particular day in secondary school, senior secondary school this time around, when I was coming back home and my dad like missed me, because I don't want to go into details. Maybe I will just film a separate video telling you guys about that issue or that thing that happened. So if you guys want to know the story, please hit the like button and also write in the comment section telling me to film that video. Okay, so yeah, I'll be able to oblige you. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to leave that aside. I'm not going to tell you guys in this video. And by the way, I'll be filming with my dad one of these days. So we'll be able to do, if you have some questions that you want me to ask my dad, just put that in the comment section. Okay. So yeah. And yeah, that's that. Any other thing that we left behind? I think I've actually said all. So my subsequent videos on the series will be doing with other young people, or and even adults. They'll be sharing their own life experience with us. I know there are some people that pass through a lot of challenges as a young child, so we're able to learn from them. Mine was not that like that challenging. The only thing was that I was the only child, only daughter, and I had some difficulties navigating with my brothers, and I felt alone, and also I had to find way to be able to communicate with my parents and stuff like that. So those were the little challenges I faced as a young child. Okay, so if you can relate with the things I've mentioned so far, then put it in the comment section so that you know that I wasn't alone, and other people that are also in this same situation also know that they are not alone. Okay, thank you so much. I'm sorry about the background noise earlier on. Thank you so much for all the love, all the support. Do me well to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done that already, and hit the like button to let me know that you actually like the video. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys and expect my next video. Bye.